Greetings, I am known as Kaelen. In a heart-wrenching twist of fate, my family did not merely turn their backs on me, they set about the painful task of erasing my very existence. In the midst of my journey as a newly divorced single mother, a gathering took place, a meeting shrouded in secrecy, where decisions were made to divide all that once was ours, and I was left in the shadows, unaware of its occurrence. In a twist of fate, the family house, once a cherished promise from my father to us all, was sold without my knowledge, the news reaching me only after the check had been cashed. Once upon a time, I gathered my children and ventured into a dilapidated house that had been overlooked by many. Little did we know the secrets hidden within that old fireplace would change everything for us. It transformed their world entirely, revealing the deception upon which they had constructed their very existence. As we embark on this journey together, I'm curious to know the hour that finds you tuned in the place from which your ears are open to our tale. Share your thoughts with us. Every single tale crossed my path, and I embraced them all. By the time I arrived at the porch, the rain had thoroughly drenched the box, leaving it heavy and waterlogged. My fingers felt like ice, not due to the chill in the air, but because of the whirlwind of change that had swept through my life in an instant. As I gazed upon the house, its sagging porch seemed to whisper tales of neglect, the broken step a silent testament to the passage of time. The windows, resembling blind eyes, stared vacantly into the distance, while the door, tilting in its frame, appeared to have surrendered to the weight of its own weariness, long forsaking the notion of standing tall. As I stood there, I could hear Jasper's heavy breaths, each one a testament to his struggle as he pulled the duffel bag up the steps, the sound echoing in the quiet around us. Could this truly be the end of the journey? He inquired, shaking droplets from his lashes like a weary traveler caught in a sudden storm. With a heart full of memories, Livy held tightly to her drenched, beloved stuffed rabbit, the sole treasure she refused to tuck away. As I knelt beside her, I leaned in close and murmured, "It may not be much, but it belongs to us." And so I held my tongue, for I found myself at a crossroads, with no path remaining to tread. Only 3 weeks have passed, yet in that fleeting time I found myself still wrapped in the role of a wife, still playing the part of one who belonged at the family table. Yet that illusion crumbled more swiftly than I had ever anticipated. Once upon a time, a delightful brunch marked the beginning of an unexpected journey. It was a special occasion, crafted by Mom, just for the girls to enjoy together. Clad in a pristine sweater, I arrived, carrying with me a semblance of hope that felt more like a mirage than a reality. The instant I crossed the threshold, a sensation washed over me. In that fleeting moment, Celine cast a sideways glance my way, while Zinnia offered a smile that felt just a touch too tight. In a cozy nook by the patio doors, I found myself nestled at the children's table, flanked by my 2 little ones, as if the universe had conspired to place us in this charming corner of the gathering. In the midst of it all, my sisters savored their Chardonnay, laughter bubbling forth as they exchanged their cherished inside jokes with Mom at the grand table. Though I wore a mask of indifference, the moment Celine's voice drifted back to me, it pierced the air, gentle yet cutting. Once upon a time, she was woven into the very fabric of our family, but now it seems the threads have unraveled, and she feels more like a distant memory than kin. In the tapestry of her life, the threads of her marriage unraveled, slipping through her fingers like grains of sand. It struck with a force I had not anticipated. As I gazed at my son seated across the table, savoring his scrambled eggs with an innocence that seemed untouched by the world, I felt a subtle fracture within me. As the world below continued its bustling rhythm, I quietly made my way to the attic, where the dust floated like tiny fairies in the golden rays of sunlight that dared to venture into the shadows. In the depths of my mind, a vivid image emerged, guiding me to the very spot I sought. Once upon a time, there lay a delicate china teacup, adorned with intricate floral patterns, carefully nestled within a dishcloth that I had tucked away during my teenage years. Once upon a time, there was a cherished possession that had belonged to Grandma Elise. She was a remarkable soul, the only one who ever looked into my eyes and said, "You deserve a place that sees you." With gentle hands I held it close, as if it were a cherished secret waiting to be unveiled. In the tapestry of memories woven within those walls, there lay a singular treasure, the one fragment of that house I would carry with me into the future. On that fateful night, an email arrived in my inbox, passed along by a cousin who was unaware of my ignorance. In that moment, a solemn affirmation echoed through the air, sealing the truth in the realm of law. Once there stood a lake house, a treasure held dear by my father, a sanctuary where dreams of togetherness were woven. Yet, the winds of change had swept through, and now that cherished haven had been sold. It has come to a close. The payment has been made. Once upon a time, the buyer's check was entrusted to the bank, where it lay in wait, patiently deposited and ready to fulfill its purpose. What is it that you seek to know about me? My name, perhaps? Not upon a single form. As I settled onto my bed, the gentle sounds of my children's slumber filled the air, and my gaze remained fixed on that email, unwavering until the screen finally surrendered to the darkness. With a determined heart, I rose from my seat, made my way to the closet, and began to retrieve the suitcases that awaited my touch. Not a single word shall escape my lips to my mother. Not to Celine, my dear friend. Not to Zinnia, oh no. They knew what they did. They shall not find joy in witnessing my pain. And so it came to pass, there I stood, upon this very porch, clutching the remnants of my life, all that remained nestled within a soggy cardboard box. With a gentle hand I guided the ancient key into the waiting lock, feeling the weight of history in that simple act. With a soft yet decisive sound, the button was pressed, echoing in the stillness of the moment. The door groaned as it opened, as if it had been sealed shut for ages, yearning to share its secrets with the world once more. Within those walls, the air was thick with the scent of decay, a dampness that whispered of mildew, mingling with a sweeter, more ancient aroma, echoes of memories that felt foreign to my soul. As I crossed the threshold, I let the box tumble to the floor, and with a gentle scrape, I brushed my shoes against the doormat that had been carelessly abandoned. Ah, the cherished abode, where warmth and comfort intertwine, a sanctuary that beckons with open arms. As I stepped forward, Livy trailed in quietly behind me, her presence a gentle whisper in the unfolding tale. Will we make this place our home for all eternity? With a hint of uncertainty, I declared, just long enough to fix it, though the true meaning of those words eluded me at that moment. As Jasper entered the dimly lit space, he gripped the flashlight we had retrieved from the car, its beam cutting through the shadows like a beacon of hope. With a keen eye he surveyed the room before his gaze settled upon the sturdy stone fireplace. "Mom," he whispered, his voice barely above a murmur. With a gentle pivot I turned. In the heart of the room, where shadows dance and flicker, a curious presence stirs within the fireplace. As I made my way toward the warm glow of the fireplace, I gently brushed past Jasper, feeling the flicker of the flames beckoning me closer. "Stay back, my dear," I whispered softly. With a slow nod, he took a careful step back, positioning himself behind Livy. She held her rabbit tightly, her eyes wide with wonder and trepidation. The hearth lay heavy with soot, a dark blanket that whispered of years gone by, as if it had remained undisturbed for ages, holding secrets of the past within its grimy embrace. With a gentle kneel, I pressed my palm against the frigid brick and extended my hand into the unknown. In the beginning, I believed it to be nothing more than the remnants of a fire, scorched logs, and perhaps a few forgotten papers scattered about. But then, as my fingers brushed against the surface, they encountered something unexpected, metal, small, and intriguing. In a world defined by shapes, there existed a figure known as the square. With a firm grip, I drew it forth using both hands. In a forgotten corner, there lay a rusted tin box, its surface cloaked in a fine layer of ash, whispering tales of the past. It stood ajar, inviting yet mysterious. With a gentle touch, I lifted the lid, revealing what lay beneath. Within the confines of that space lay 7 letters, each one a whisper of untold stories waiting to be unveiled. In certain corners, the ink bore the marks of a hurried hand, while the edges whispered tales of age, tinged with a warm, brown patina of time's gentle embrace. Every envelope bore the mark of delicate, looping handwriting, a style so enchanting it stole the very breath from my lungs. To Kaelen. When the moment arrives and you find yourself prepared. Every mark upon the parchment bore the enchanting signature of one beloved soul, Grandma Marigold. As I lowered myself onto the unadorned wooden floor, the dust swirling around me seemed inconsequential, and I paid no mind to how my jeans clung to my damp knees. With fingers that quivered like leaves in a gentle breeze, I carefully lifted the top envelope. In a delicate corner, a small dried violet found its resting place, a whisper of beauty from days gone by. In that moment, a spark of familiarity ignited within me. In days gone by, she would gently press them between the pages of her books, whispering that a flower endures far longer when it is cherished in silence. As I carefully unfolded the letter, anticipation danced in the air around me. On this special day, we gather to celebrate the 25th year of your enchanting journey, my dear girl. Even if your mother stands firm, holding back what is rightfully yours, let not your spirit wane. Persevere, for the journey is not yet over. In the heart of nature, the lake house stands as a refuge, a place where one finds solace rather than solitude. Guard it fiercely, for it is yours and yours alone. As I gazed upon those words, they began to dance and fade, merging into a hazy mist before my eyes. The rain outside pounded relentlessly against the roof, or perhaps it was merely the echo of my own heartbeat resonating in the stillness. For so long I believed I was alone in witnessing the way I was treated, convinced that perhaps I had conjured it all in my mind, that I was merely overreacting. And there it stood, right before us. Behold, the evidence awaits. In that moment, her eyes caught sight of it as well. As I turned to the second letter, an unexpected chill gripped my fingers, leaving them motionless in anticipation. Within the confines of that space lay a simple photocopy. In the dim light, a weathered piece of paper emerged, its surface marked by the passage of time. It bore the faint outlines of what appeared to be a legal document, its details obscured by the grainy texture of a hasty scan. In the quiet corners of time, there lay an early draft of my grandmother's will, a testament to her life and legacy. As I perused the lines, my gaze flitted across the formal language, each word a stepping stone in a tale waiting to unfold. Once upon a time, in a place where the water kissed the shore, I, Marigold Whitley, bequeathed the cherished lakefront property nestled at. And then in that moment it appeared, unmistakable and vivid. To my beloved granddaughter, Kaelen Whitley Grant. In the tale that unfolds, there exists a silence surrounding a certain figure, one whose name remains unspoken, drifting like a whisper in the wind. The absence of mention weaves a mysterious thread through the narrative, leaving the audience to ponder the significance of this elusive presence. There exists no shared ownership. Only my name standing solitary. Yet that was not the message the final will had conveyed. It was a week etched in my memory, the days following Grandma's departure. In the blink of an eye, Mom orchestrated the arrangements for the service, moving with a purpose that spoke of her strength and determination. Swift as the wind. She urged me not to fret over the logistics, all the while passing my children to me as if they were shields, crafted to draw my attention away. Alas, the final will remained unseen by my eyes. It never crossed my mind to inquire. And what comes next? This. As I gazed upon the letters scattered across my lap, I felt the weight of each one, a delicate blend of pain and healing intertwined in their very essence. In a single, sweeping moment, my mother and sisters had cast me into the shadows, leaving me unseen and unheard. Not merely from a room, but from a rich tapestry of legacy. Yet, Grandma's memory remained as sharp as ever. In a moment of inspiration, she had penned these words for me. For me, a tale unfolds. And there in the shadows, someone had tucked them away, a secret waiting to be uncovered. With intention. Not a single tear fell. With a gentle hand, I collected the letters, carefully placing them back into the metal box, and then I rose to my feet. Jasper's gaze was fixed upon me, a silent observer in the unfolding tale. He never inquired about the discoveries I had made. He inquired, "Are we still staying here?" With a gentle nod, I acknowledged the moment. Indeed, we exist. As the stars twinkled outside and the world grew quiet, I found myself once more by the warm glow of the fireplace. The children, nestled peacefully on the mattress we had pulled into the living room, were lost in dreams, leaving me in solitude. In the stillness of the night, I let my voice slip softly into the shadows. In a moment that felt like a whisper in the wind, they erased me. Yet, Grandma's keen eyes caught sight of me. And now before my eyes they appear. As dawn tiptoed in through the fractured blinds, it painted the living room floor with delicate ribbons of soft light. Sleep had eluded me. The letters lay undisturbed upon the table, their seals intact once more, yet my thoughts echoed a single phrase, persistent as a gentle drumbeat in the stillness of the room. It was her intention all along for me to possess it. As I meandered into the dimly lit back room, the sound of laughter and crunching filled the air, where the children sat, delighting in their dry cereal served in humble paper bowls. In my quest, I wandered through the dimly lit corners, searching for light bulbs and perhaps a trusty screwdriver, yearning for anything that could transform this eerie space, reminiscent of a ghost attic, into a warm and inviting home. With a gentle nudge, I opened the narrow utility closet, hidden away behind the hallway door. Inside, I began to sift through a collection of forgotten treasures, old paint cans, brittle scrub brushes, and rusted hinges, each holding whispers of stories long past. It was at that moment that I stumbled upon the photograph. There, hidden behind a roll of plastic tarp, lay a frame, its edges cracked and weary, entombed beneath the weight of countless years of dust and neglect. With a swift motion, I took the edge of my shirt and wiped it clean, as if erasing the remnants of a forgotten tale. It was we, the ones who shared the laughter and the secrets, the moments that wove our stories together. In the heart of my life, there exists a tapestry woven with the threads of my family. It was a moment etched in time, perhaps 8 years past, at the beloved lake house where laughter and joy filled the air, and everyone gathered together. In the soft glow of the room, my mother, wrapped in her pale blue cardigan, exuded warmth, while Celine wore her familiar practice smile, and Zinnia tenderly cradled her infant son, a picture of love and serenity. And there I found myself as well. Or rather, that was where I ought to have found myself. In the far left corner, my cherished spot lay marked, a reminder of what once was, now scratched out and lost to time. Not torn, not faded, but marked with the stories of time. With a sense of destiny. In the dim light, the silhouette of my dress lingered, a gentle hand resting upon a shoulder, weaving a tale of connection and presence. Yet my visage had been cruelly carved away from the image. There I stood, cradling the frame in my hands, lost in thought about how long it had remained hidden away, much like my own presence in the world. The acrid scent of burnt toast wafted through the air, drawing me back to a moment long forgotten. With a gentle nudge, I set the photo against the counter, then turned to the sink to wash my hands. The aroma of coffee filled the air as I poured myself a mug of lukewarm brew, ready to embrace the moment. Yet my thoughts had already wandered to distant realms. In days gone by. The memories of that neighborhood barbecue came rushing back to me. It was the first summer that followed the end of my marriage. Not many were privy to the reasons behind our parting ways. It was a matter that lay beyond their reach, a tale not meant for their ears. In all honesty, I found myself still reeling, unable to articulate my thoughts with any clarity. But dear mother? As I approached her, the soft murmur of conversation filled the air, and I caught a glimpse of her engaging with the church ladies. In that moment, I heard her voice, tinged with concern as she spoke the words, "Kaelen's not well right now. In our quest to aid her, we have explored every possible avenue." With a gentle touch, she placed her hand upon her heart. With a gentle tilt of the head, a world of curiosity unfolds. In the quiet of my own backyard, I found myself cradling a tray of cupcakes, lovingly frosted by Livy's hands. A woman, whom I scarcely knew, stood nearby, her expression grave as she nodded and murmured, "Poor thing, I hope she gets the help she needs." And in an instant, I found myself woven into the fabric of whispers and tales, a mere shadow of a rumor. Not long after, a message arrived from a client for whom I had been weaving my freelance magic. The words within bore news that the project had met an untimely end. Whispers of worry floated through the air as they spoke of availability, casting a shadow of uncertainty. Yet, the moment pierced through like a sharp thorn. And then, as if the world had paused, the call ceased to arrive. As the days passed, the invitations began to dwindle, fading away like whispers in the wind. In truth, I was not a creature of instability. Once I found myself cast aside, left to wander in the shadows of neglect. With the last sip of my coffee warming my soul, I turned my steps back toward the scene, eager to capture the moment in a photograph. Gazed upon it for what felt like an eternity, lost in thought. But this was not a tale of neglect. In that moment, a deliberate act of erasure unfolded before our eyes. In the stillness of the moment, where words dare not tread, lies a power untold, strategic silence, a quiet force that speaks volumes without uttering a single sound. They chose to let things remain as they were, untouched and unaltered. There was a palpable desire for my departure. In the absence of chaos and conflict. In a world where responsibility seemed to vanish, there lay a shadow of uncertainty, whispering tales of actions unmeasured and consequences unseen. It seemed they had turned their backs on me, leaving me to wander in the shadows of their indifference. They sought my silence, wishing for my presence to vanish without a trace. In a moment of quiet reflection, Celine's voice danced through my thoughts, a gentle whisper that beckoned me to listen. Not tied to a particular day. It was but one of the countless tales she had polished and perfected over time. Kaelen, you have a knack for turning order into chaos, don't you? Why not allow Mother to weave the tale herself? Once upon a time, there was a tale waiting to be told. It was not by mere chance that they wove their tale of deception. They wove their tales with such skill. With a touch of elegance. With meticulous care. In the shadows of their words, they crafted a tale where I was but a weight, a burden to bear, ensuring that the truth of their actions would remain forever hidden from curious eyes. With a swift motion, I seized a pen and a ragged fragment of notepad, ready to capture the thoughts swirling in my mind. Once upon a time, a single sentence was crafted, holding within it the essence of thought and imagination. With a gentle motion, it was folded once, a simple act that held a world of possibilities within its creases. And yet there was another thought that lingered in the air. And with a gentle motion, it was tucked away behind the crooked frame. They whispered to the world that I was shattered, ensuring that no one would dare to inquire about the hands that had caused my fracture. With a gentle sigh, I placed the photo back in its original resting place, as if returning a cherished memory to its rightful home. It is not to be concealed. Yet, in that very spot where they sought to entomb the falsehood, the truth emerged, resolute and unwavering. As I gently closed the closet door, the note I had tucked behind the photo lingered in my thoughts, echoing long after the door had shut. It was more than mere words strung together. For far too long I had concealed a truth from my own heart, a secret that lingered in the shadows of my mind. Yet, once it had been revealed, it lingered in my mind, impossible to forget. Perhaps in that moment, I found myself reluctant to embrace it. As dawn broke, I summoned the strength within me to return to the town once more. In the heart of our journey, a pressing need arose. Supplies were essential for our quest. The water heater let out a deep, weary groan, as if it had seen nearly a century of life pass by. Indeed, it likely was. And there it stood, the front door stubbornly wedged in its frame, as if guarding secrets from the world beyond. In the quiet of the workshop, I pondered my next move. A new wrench glimmered in the light, and beside it lay a roll of weather stripping, both beckoning me to begin my task. It seemed a fitting place to embark on this journey of repair and renewal. In the quiet of the afternoon, Jasper found himself at school, while Livy spent her time with the neighbor's teenage daughter just down the road. I had a precious 2 hours stretching before me, a brief interlude before the inevitable pickup beckoned. As I strolled along, a peculiar sensation washed over me, the weight of watchful eyes lifted from my shoulders. It was a newfound freedom, a breath of fresh air, until I found myself standing on the sidewalk before the hardware store. 2 women stood by the window display, their voices a soft murmur as they shared their thoughts. As their eyes fell upon me, one of them pivoted, while the other averted their gaze with a swiftness that spoke volumes. I offered a firm nod, my resolve clear in that simple gesture. And so the journey continued, step by step, onward through the winding path. In my journey through the tapestry of human interactions, I had come to recognize that subtle twitch in the depths of their eyes. A blend of sorrow and a darker emotion lurking beneath the surface. It was not curiosity that stirred within. In a world where boundaries are drawn and limits are set, there lies a tale of containment. It was as if they had all received a mysterious script detailing my life, yet when I stepped into the spotlight, they stood frozen, unsure of how to weave their own words into the unfolding tale. Within the confines of the store, I took hold of a small cart and navigated the aisles with a sense of purpose, each step echoing the rhythm of routine. Once upon a time, there were humble tools, a roll of tape, a handful of nails, and a sturdy pair of work gloves, each waiting for their moment to shine in the hands of a diligent craftsman. In the tranquil back section, a sense of calm enveloped the air, but that serenity was soon interrupted by the familiar chime of the door, followed by the sound of a slow shuffle creeping up behind me. Ah, Kaelen, a name that dances on the lips like a whisper in the wind. As I pivoted, the world around me shifted, revealing new paths and untold stories waiting to unfold. Once upon a time, there was a man known as Mr. Adler. He remained much the same. Perhaps a touch more slender. With a slight curve in the back, a bit more hunched than before. Yet there remained the same wiry white hair and those kind, uncertain eyes that spoke volumes. He was a companion of my father's, a figure woven into the fabric of our family's tale. Once upon a time, there was a retired architect who would grace the lake house each summer. He would sit with Dad, sipping sweet tea as they spread blueprints across the picnic table, the warm sun casting gentle shadows on their plans. Ah, Mr. Adler, you say? A name that carries a weight of intrigue and curiosity indeed. With a soft voice I spoke. I wasn't certain it was you, he murmured, as he took a step closer. His voice wove a tapestry of uncertainty. Word has reached my ears that you have returned. It was not my intention to delve into matters that were not mine to explore. I gave a subtle nod, my lips sealed, for words eluded me in that moment. With a gentle clearing of his throat, he found himself toying with a crumpled receipt, its edges worn from his anxious grip. I have no desire to ruffle any feathers, he began. Yet, text, I witnessed the trials you faced long ago. And in that moment, silence enveloped me. The responsibility lies with me. As I pondered, my brows knitted together in a deep furrow. What is it that you are trying to convey? With a furtive glance, he swept his gaze around before gesturing toward the expanse of the parking lot. Would you be able to? Could you spare just a moment? As we stepped out side by side, the world beyond awaited us. He guided me to his truck, nestled beneath a tree whose bark was shedding like old memories. From the shadows of the back seat, he retrieved a dusty black tube, its surface worn and mysterious, and extended it toward me with a knowing glance. I was meant to cast this aside, he remarked. Years ago, your mother arrived with it in hand, declaring it was once hers, but now she wished to free herself from its presence, not wanting it to clutter her space any longer. Yet, I found myself unable to do so. In that moment, a profound realization washed over me, as if the truth had been waiting patiently in the shadows, ready to reveal itself. I knew. With a gentle twist, I released the grip of the cap, setting the stage for what lay within. Within its confines lay a grand, weathered blueprint telling tales of designs long past. Paper of a substantial weight, its edges kissed by the passage of time, taking on a gentle yellow hue. With a gentle motion, I unfurled it upon the hood of the truck, each inch revealing its secrets. In the midst of the title block, her name was inscribed with precision, yet as my gaze wandered to the margins, a revelation awaited me. Once upon a time, there existed a unique form of expression, a dance of ink upon paper, known as my handwriting. Whispers of thoughts captured in soft graphite. In the realm of my shorthand, the measurements dance upon the page. There it was, my name, elegantly initialed in the corner, a quiet mark of my presence. This was given to me by your father when you were just 17, Mr. Adler recounted, his voice carrying the weight of memories long cherished. It was shared with me that the spark of this idea originated from the two of you. In a serene corner of the world, there exists a sanctuary, a retreat center where souls seek solace and rejuvenation. For women embarking on a new journey. He spoke of it as if it were your heart's deepest desire. With a gentle touch, I followed the delicate pencil line, feeling its subtle presence beneath my fingertip. As I felt a weight upon my chest, a sense of unease began to creep in. Mr. Adler continued, weaving a tale of insight, saying he told me you were the only one who perceived the void that lingered within that family. He spoke of you as the one destined to create something greater. Ah, that summer lingers in my memory. In the dim light of our basement, I found myself seated on the cool floor, pencil in hand, sketching out visions of cozy cabins. I dreamed of shared kitchens filled with laughter and quiet porches where women could once more find solace and safety. It was my father who kindled the spark within me. Once upon a time, there was a woman who held a special place in my heart, my mother. Not quite that way. Helping broken women only means you remain broken yourself, she had snapped, her eyes narrowing as she glanced at our sketches. Ah, Kaelen, there's a softness about you that seems to wrap around your heart like a gentle embrace. Much like the cherished tales of your grandmother. As I gazed upon the blueprint before me, a realization began to dawn. They didn't merely wipe me from the tales that were told. In a world where meaning once thrived, they stripped away my essence, leaving me adrift without a guiding star. From a rich tapestry of history. In a twist of fate, my ideas and my vision were taken, reshaped, and woven into a new tapestry of history, one that bore their name instead of mine. With a steady hand, Mr. Adler gently touched the edge of the blueprint, as if it held the secrets of a grand adventure waiting to unfold. Forgive me for my silence. With great care, I rolled it back up, cradling it under my arm as if it were a delicate treasure, one that had bravely endured the flames of a fierce blaze. It's all right, I whispered, though deep down, I knew it wasn't. It remained unburied, a secret left to linger in the open air. That speaks volumes compared to the rest. With a subtle nod, he retreated into the truck, the engine rumbling to life as he drove away into the distance. For what felt like an eternity, I lingered in that spot, lost in thought, before finally turning to make my way back to my car. Not a single tear fell. In that moment, I found calm instead of fury. Yet, a certain weight had taken root within me. Once upon a time, there came a moment of transformation, a subtle yet profound shift that changed everything. In the shadows of what once was, she had wiped my name from the very legacy we had crafted together. Yet, undeterred, I set forth to lay the stones of a new beginning. In hushed whispers. That day I departed from Mr. Adler's truck, cradling the blueprint close to my heart, as if it were a precious treasure. As I strolled back to my car, the wind began to stir, swirling around me, yet the chill seemed to pass me by, leaving me untouched. A change stirred within me, a subtle yet profound transformation that whispered of new beginnings. In hushed tones. With unwavering determination. It was not born from anger. From the depths of reality. And I had no intention of hiding it away once more. It was 2 days hence when a curious invitation found its way, affixed to my front door like a secret waiting to be unveiled. In a whimsical twist of fate, a playful dinosaur sticker found its home on the corner of the envelope, playfully masking a little smudge beneath it. It was a day filled with laughter and joy, for my nephew was celebrating his 6th birthday. In a place where I once toiled, scrubbing floors and dreaming of brighter days, the party would unfold, bringing laughter and joy to the very walls that had witnessed my hard work. It is time to hang the curtains, transforming the space with a touch of elegance and warmth. Half of it belongs to me. Yet, in this moment, it remains a secret hidden from the world. For what felt like an eternity, I found myself gazing intently at the card. Reluctance gripped my heart, and deep down, I knew I didn't want to go. Deep within me, a whisper of intuition urged me to turn away. Yet, I forged ahead regardless. It was not meant for their hands. Once upon a time, there was a boy who cherished me as his favorite aunt. And so it was that for the sake of closure, one ventured forth, stepping into the flames, fully aware that they would feel the searing heat once more. Let me take you back to that sweltering day, a day so hot that it etched itself into memory. On the fateful day of the gathering, I found myself parking down the block, my hands lingering on the steering wheel, even as the engine fell silent. In a realm where nature met artistry, the lawn stood as a testament to meticulous care, each blade of grass trimmed with precision, creating a verdant tapestry that whispered tales of dedication and beauty. Once upon a time, a fresh coat of paint awaited its moment to shine. As the sun lingered in the sky, the patio lights began to twinkle, casting a warm glow that hinted at the magic of the evening to come. Once upon a time, that house would whisper and groan, filled with echoes of the past. In that moment, it transformed into a dazzling showroom, a spectacle of elegance and allure. All was gleaming and refined. All things masked in pretense. As I made my way up the driveway, a box cradled in my arms, I couldn't help but reflect on the 2 nights I had devoted to sanding, staining, and carving it with care. Within its walls lay a beautifully crafted wooden toy garage, adorned with miniature tools and a ramp that Jasper and I had lovingly envisioned together. As Vera turned the handle and pushed the door open, her smile drew in, tightening like the strings of a well-worn pouch. "Look who has arrived," she exclaimed, her voice sparkling with delight. I gave a single, deliberate nod. "In what place shall I bestow this treasure?" "Ah, in a distant realm. In due time I shall unravel the mystery before me." In that moment, I discovered the birthday boy, and as I handed him the box, a spark ignited in his eyes, illuminating his face with pure delight. He dashed away, eager to share the news with his friends, and in that fleeting moment, I allowed myself a breath of relief. And then at last, the cake emerged from the oven. In the warm embrace of the evening, a lively assembly found its place in the backyard, drawn together around a long table that sparkled beneath the gentle glow of fairy lights. With a gentle chime, Vera raised her glass, the sound echoing softly in the air. "I just want to say," she began, swaying slightly in her heels, "how grateful I am for family. Once upon a time there existed a true family. Ah, the kind that lingers, weaving itself into the fabric of time. One that stands strong, unwavering, even when the storms of life rage around it." In the dim light of the gathering, a gentle ripple of laughter floated through the air, as a few guests shared a moment of quiet amusement. As I cast my gaze downward, a world unfolded beneath me. And so with heartfelt gratitude, we extend our thanks to those who continue to hold steadfast to the noble virtue of commitment. In these times, it seems that not everyone has the privilege of inviting a companion along for the journey. In that moment, she gracefully tilted her glass in my direction, a silent invitation hanging in the air. Let it be forgotten. And so it came to rest, a moment captured in time. A soft wave of stifled laughter danced through the air. In a moment of unexpected peril, a woman found herself gasping as the bubbly Prosecco slipped down the wrong way. Celine averted her gaze, feigning ignorance to the world around her. With a measured grace, I rose to my feet. The sound of the chair legs scraping against the floor pierced the atmosphere, rising above the melodies that danced in the background. My voice flowed like a calm river, steady and unwavering. Whispers carried on the breeze. Steady and unwavering. "Though the bonds of marriage have slipped away," I declared, "my sense of ownership remains steadfast." Vera paused, her glass suspended in time, a moment of stillness enveloping her. "And you know exactly what I mean," I added, my gaze firmly entwined with hers. "In the span of a single week." As she parted her lips, a silence enveloped her, and no sound emerged from within. A handful of guests cast furtive glances our way, as if they had stumbled upon a moment not meant for their eyes, caught in the midst of a tale unfolding before them. Our mother fidgeted restlessly by the bar cart, her unease palpable in the air. In that moment, a stillness enveloped the scene, as if time itself had paused, and no soul dared to stir. I forged ahead, not pausing for anyone to follow in my footsteps. As I pivoted, I made my way back through the house, the sound of my heels echoing against the polished wood floors, newly laid, perhaps, to wipe away any trace of my passage. I gently closed the door behind me. My voice remained calm and steady, untouched by the tempest of emotions swirling within me. Yet, with each step taken beyond the threshold of that house, it was as if a stake was driven into the rich, uncharted earth of new beginnings. Alas, this moment shall not be like the others. There was no silence to be found. Erase no more. In that moment, she believed I was merely playing a game of deception. Unbeknownst to her, I had already engaged in a conversation with the county clerk. On that early Monday morning, I found myself parked outside the county courthouse, the world still shrouded in the quiet of dawn. The office was yet to open, and there I sat in my car, the envelope resting on my lap, as if it held secrets that could slip away the moment I dared to look away. Within those pages lay the trust clause of my dear Aunt Doris, a document she had subtly revised 5 years prior, shrouded in the whispers of time. In a tale where shadows often overshadowed the light, there lay a clause, hidden and forgotten, for no soul had deemed it worthy of discovery. It was as if the world had conspired to overlook my existence, believing I was but a whisper in the grand narrative, unworthy of being etched into the pages of anything significant. As the grand doors swung wide, I found myself standing at the forefront, the very first in line, ready to embark on whatever awaited beyond. In a quaint little office, there stood a clerk with kind eyes, known to all as Reginald. With a gentle demeanor, he guided me through the intricate dance of the filing process, ensuring that each step was clear and understood. As he flipped through the notarized pages, a glimmer of certainty danced in his eyes. "It'll go to legal review," he declared, his voice steady, "but rest assured, it's valid." In the realm of agreements and contracts, there lies a subtle yet powerful element often overlooked by many, the trust-embedded ownership clauses. These intricate threads weave through the fabric of ownership, quietly shaping the dynamics of trust and responsibility. Fortune smiled upon you as you stumbled upon it. It was not mere chance that guided the way. In the heart of the wilderness, it was a tale of survival. As the sun reached its zenith, the claim began its journey, officially set in motion. Unbeknownst to them, the house, complete with its freshly paved driveway and the wine fridge that Vera had so lovingly installed, was now caught in the throes of a legal battle. It was but 2 days hence that the truth revealed itself to them. As I busied myself restocking the shelves at the local library, a sudden gust of energy burst through the double-glass doors, swinging them wide and causing the donation jar to rattle with a lively clink. Vera strode in, her heels clicking against the floor like the gavel of a judge, commanding attention with every step. Behind her, our mother followed closely, her lips pressed together, eyes darting from side to side as if she were searching for a way out. "Do you find amusement in this?" Vera's voice cut through the stillness, a sharp snap that echoed in the air. My fingers lingered on the spine of a book, still waiting to find its place among the others, a silent promise of stories yet to be told. "Pray tell, what was that?" "Once upon a time there stood a house. Once upon a time there came a moment of great significance known as the filing. Are you truly attempting to snatch it away from us, all because the bonds of your marriage have frayed?" As my eyes wandered through the surroundings, I took in the scene before me. In a quaint little corner of the cafe, 3 patrons stood, their eyes glued to the magazine rack as if it held the secrets of the universe. They feigned a deep fascination, each page a portal to worlds unknown, their minds wandering far beyond the glossy covers before them. With a sense of purpose, I reached into my bag and retrieved the trust clause, presenting it with a flourish. Last week, a significant document found its way into the archives. In her wise and caring way, Aunt Doris ensured that I always had a safety net to rely on. It became clear that she understood the intricate workings of this family. At that moment, a subtle shiver ran through Mom, a fleeting reaction that spoke volumes. With a flick of her wrist, Vera cast the paper aside, barely sparing it a glance as it landed on the counter. "This doesn't mean anything," came a voice from behind them, echoing through the stillness like a whisper carried by the wind. Once upon a time, there was a name that echoed through the wind's Bryce. The man who shares his life with Vera. He strolled in, a smirk dancing on his lips like wisps of smoke in the air. "Do you truly believe that a mere dusty piece of paper can alter the reality of the years we've dedicated to caring for that house? Are you thinking of giving it a new look? The time has come to settle the debts with the realm, to fulfill the obligations that bind us to the land. The taxes await, a necessary tribute to ensure the prosperity of our community. Residing within its embrace?" With a chuckle, I remarked, my tone steady and calm. "Oh, how bountiful your hearts became once the treasure slipped through your fingers." It was a dusty piece of paper, yet it held the weight of my rightful claim from the very start. With a light-hearted laugh, Bryce found amusement in the moment. "This will surely falter in time." I tilted my head, curiosity dancing in my eyes. "It all hinges on the audience you wish to captivate. Will it be the companions of your backyard or the stern figure of the judge?" Then a hush enveloped the surroundings. The kind that drags all in its wake, a force of nature that cannot be contained. At last, Mother took a step into the light, her voice a whisper yet cutting through the air like a blade. "Oh, Kaelen, with every word you speak, it feels as though the very fabric of our family is unraveling before our eyes." As I cast my gaze upon her, a moment unfolded between us. with a keen gaze, one truly observed. With a firm grip on her purse strap, she seemed to hold on to more than just her belongings. On a day such as this, the elegance of her earrings harmoniously complemented her shoes, a detail that whispered of careful thought and timeless style. No, I declared with conviction. In that fateful moment, you unraveled the very fabric of reality, casting aside the essence of your own daughter from the tale you were weaving. It was in that fleeting moment when you chose a tale adorned with beauty over the essence of my being. Vera averted her gaze, lost in thought. Bryce let out a scoff and pivoted on his heel, yet Mom remained steadfast, as if my words had burrowed into a place within her that she was not yet prepared to confront. In silence they departed, leaving behind an unspoken farewell. As the library door swung shut, it marked the end of a chapter, sealing their thoughts within like a final period at the end of a sentence. As the moon cast its gentle glow, I found myself perched on the front steps of my new, temporary abode, observing Livy as she brought to life a tapestry of chalk hearts upon the sidewalk. Within the cozy confines of his home, Jasper found himself lost in the pages of a book, the world outside fading away as he immersed himself in the story unfolding before him. After what felt like an eternity, a calmness settled over me, and my hands, once trembling, now rested steady and still. This journey transcended the mere pursuit of victory. It was a tale of visibility, a moment captured, forever etched in ink. They held on to their doubts, believing I would never take that final step, until the day the court summons arrived, shattering their illusions. They held on to their doubts, believing I would never see it through, until the fateful day when the court summons arrived, shattering their illusions. And in that moment, I can almost picture them believing it to be a mere ruse, hidden away in another envelope, waiting to be uncovered. On a cool Tuesday morning, the air was thick with a gentle fog that crept low over the fields, casting a spell of stillness where time seemed to hold its breath. Though my eyes were not witness to the event, the truth of it resonated deeply within me, and I felt no need for further proof. Vera, in her own unassuming way, shared her secrets with me, unaware that the truth had slipped from her lips. 2 streets away, I found my hiding place, a spot just distant enough to remain unseen, and there I lingered, biding my time. As the clock struck 10:03 in the morning, the process server ascended the steps of the house that once held the echoes of my past. With a firm hand he rapped on the door first once, then again, the sound echoing softly in the stillness of the evening. As I stood there, my gaze caught the subtle movement of the curtain, a whisper of change in the stillness of the room. In the blink of an eye, Vera gently eased the door ajar, her eyes narrowing as she stood with her arms crossed, a picture of curiosity and caution. As I sat there, my gaze was drawn to the gentle movement of her lips, each word a whisper of a story waiting to unfold. With a deliberate gesture, he extended a thick envelope towards her, his nod a silent acknowledgement. Before she could even manage to close the door, he had already turned away, leaving a lingering air of mystery in his wake. From where I stood, the entire scene unfolded before my eyes. In that moment, her body became a fortress, rigid and unyielding. The envelope lay in a firm grasp, held tightly as if it contained secrets waiting to be unveiled. With a measured pace, the eyes lingered on the name inscribed upon it, each letter unfolding like a tale waiting to be told. In that fleeting moment, I could sense her breath hitch, a silent gasp escaping her lips as the truth dawned upon her. My mother emerged from the shadows, her hands wrapped around a steaming mug of coffee, as if it held the power to thaw the chill that had settled within her. What mischief has she stirred up this time? With a curious glint in her eye, she posed the question. Her voice drifted from the porch, soft and weary, much like a gentle breeze at the end of a long day. She has taken us to court, Vera whispered, her voice barely rising above the rustle of the leaves. In that moment, they remained silent, their voices lost in the stillness, neither raising a shout nor uttering a word. In that moment, time stood still and everything around me became a mere whisper of existence, as if the world had been encased in ice. Ah, that profound silence? It carried a heaviness that surpassed every insult they had cast my way throughout the years. As the sun dipped below the horizon that evening, whispers of unease filled the air, a palpable tension that hung like a heavy fog, thick enough to be sliced through with one of my mother's cherished antique butter knives. As I would come to discover through my cousin's casual messages later on. In the dim light of the dining room, the roast chicken sat proudly on the table, untouched and glistening, as if waiting for a feast that would never come. Alas, not a single soul managed to pass the rolls. In the unfolding tale, the name of Kaelen remained unspoken, a whisper lost in the echoes of the narrative. Yet there she stood. In the spaces between each fleeting glance, within every sharp sigh that escapes the lips, and with the delicate clink of silverware meeting china, a story unfolds. Upon returning to my humble abode, I found the atmosphere to be equally tranquil. Yet it did not succumb to the weight of despair. It brought a sense of calm to my soul. On that fateful night, a message arrived, catching me completely off guard. It was a message from Mrs. Langley, our dear elderly neighbor who resides just 3 doors down the lane. 2 winters past, I had come to her aid when the chill of the season crept into her home, and her heater faltered. In a world where desires often dance on the lips of many, there stood a soul who never sought a single thing. Not a word was spoken about the way everything was coming apart at the seams. Yet, the memories lingered in her mind. And she penned the words, "I know what they did, Kaelen. In the spirit of truth, I shall recount my tale with the utmost sincerity." With my fingers poised above the keyboard, I found myself reading it once more, savoring each word anew. And once more the tale unfolds. Her words pierce the stillness, resonating like a bell tolling in a serene monastery. In an instant, a vivid memory surged forth, breaking through the veil of time. At the tender age of 17, I found myself crouched beside the garden bed, my hands gently placing zinnias into the earth, accompanied by Vera's warm presence. In the quiet moments of my memory, her laughter dances like sunlight, bright and infectious, echoing through the corridors of time. "You and your feeble little dream house," she had mocked with a sneer. "Do you believe that possessing a cottage can mend the pieces of your soul once more?" Mom had let out a soft chuckle, not born of malice, but rather that familiar, tight-lipped approval that accompanied those moments when Vera brought me back to earth. On that fateful day, I chose not to stand up for myself. With determination in my heart, I ventured further into the depths. As the sun dipped below the horizon, I found myself seated on my porch, enveloped in the quiet of the evening. As the sun dipped below the horizon, dusk wove its magic, casting long shadows that danced across the yard. Resting gently upon my lap, in my possession lay a manila folder, a humble vessel cradling the remnants of my last chance to demonstrate the truth that lingered within. As I gently lifted the cover, a world of contents awaited my eager gaze. In the realm of agreements, there lies a trust clause, a copy of the deed, and a collection of legal papers, each a vital thread in the intricate tapestry of ownership and obligation. And there, at the very bottom, cradled between the pages, lay the shattered ceramic dove I had discovered during my move-in adventure. Alas, it remains chipped. It remains fractured. It was never my intention to hold on to it. Yet, in some mysterious way I had. As my thumb glided over its jagged edge, it was not the sting of pain I sought, but rather a way to recall the fragments of what once was whole. In the shadows of my journey, they shattered my spirit. Ah, but what of this? Behold the essence that binds all together. As I stepped into the courtroom, a chill enveloped me, far more biting than I had ever envisioned. Yet, amidst the icy air, my voice remained steady, unwavering like a beacon in the dark. As I made my way across the gleaming floor, the sound of my boots resonated like a drumbeat, cutting through the air filled with the murmurs of strangers clad in suits and the faces of family I once held dear. Vera had arrived, perched beside her attorney, her smile a rigid mask that seemed to hide a world of unspoken thoughts. Our mother sat a row behind her, her gaze locked onto the floor as if she had lost something precious and found herself unable to summon the courage to retrieve it. I chose not to don anything extravagant. There it was, a dark blue blouse, draped elegantly, accompanied by a blazer that whispered tales of old cedar with its lingering scent. My journey was never about seeking admiration. In the unfolding tale of my existence, I arrived at a moment where the world would finally behold me, truly witnessed. The judge, a seasoned woman with weary eyes and a voice that resonated like iron cloaked in velvet, offered a nod to both counsels. Once upon a time, in the realm of possibilities, a journey was about to unfold. Let us embark on this adventure together. First to step into the spotlight was Vera's attorney. He stood tall, his voice smooth and polished, as he raised a folder brimming with papers, as if he were on the brink of revealing the very Constitution itself. In the tale of the disputed property, the receipts reveal a significant chapter, one where my client Vera Marchand took the helm, funding and overseeing the majority of the renovations that transformed the space. My client poured not only funds but also dreams and dedication into reviving a building that was on the brink of falling into ruin. With a gentle press of the remote, a vivid tapestry of polished hardwood floors, a beautifully redone kitchen, and exquisite garden stonework unfurled upon the projector's canvas. For a fleeting moment, the scene appeared utterly damning. In that moment, my attorney stood up, calm and deliberate, ready for what lay ahead. With a decisive click, he pressed once more. In the midst of the unfolding tale, side-by-side comparisons emerged, revealing the contrasts and connections that lay hidden beneath the surface. On one side lay the receipts that Vera had carefully submitted. On the flip side, there lay the bank records, the contractor logs, and the timestamp transfers from my personal account to each vendor that Vera insisted she had settled with. Your Honor, he spoke softly, it is important to note that Miss Kaelen Everett personally financed these renovations, and the documents presented by the defendant have been tampered with. In the annals of records, the originals, procured straight from the hands of the contractors, reveal a curious absence. Miss Vera Marchand's name and any sign of payment are nowhere to be found. In the solemn courtroom, a gentle rustle stirred the air, as papers fluttered and throats were cleared, each sound weaving into the tapestry of anticipation. With her arms crossed and her lips pressed into a thin line, Vera stood there, a picture of resolve. Her mother remained lost in her own world, her gaze fixed on something unseen. And then with a flourish my attorney continued, as they deftly inserted a USB into the court's monitor system. In the dim light of the evening, a video flickered to life, its images grainy and distorted, as if captured by a watchful eye hidden in the shadows. This motion-activated porch cam, left to its own devices, recorded moments unbeknownst to those who passed by, weaving a tale of the unseen and the unnoticed. Ah, the memory lingers of that day when we set forth to reclaim it. With a quiet yet resolute nod, Mrs. Langley entrusted it to me. In the heart of the kitchen, Vera stood by the counter, her laughter ringing out like a melody as she clutched a clipboard in her hands. With a playful glint in her eye, she remarked, "She's so oblivious, she doesn't even realize we're lifting her name right off the deed." In the soft glow of the afternoon light, the camera captured a moment of quiet grace, where my mother lingered in the background, her delicate fingers cradling a warm cup of tea, nodding gently as if in agreement with the unspoken words of the world around her. The air in the room grew colder still, wrapping around the space like a shroud of frost. Though my stomach twisted in a tight knot, I stood my ground unwavering. After a brief pause, the judge lifted their gaze, as if weighing the gravity of the moment. "Miss Everett," she began, her voice carrying a weight of anticipation, "the floor is yours for the closing remarks." With a deliberate motion, I rose to my feet, taking a moment to gather my breath. As my fingers brushed against the familiar folder I had carried along, I gently extracted the delicate, shattered ceramic dove that lay within. The room held its breath as I lifted it, as though it carried a gravity surpassing that of any sworn statement. Upon my return, I discovered it nestled in the attic. I proclaimed, "All that remained of me, my name, my share, my rightful place within this family, was dismantled, repainted, or relinquished to others." Ah, but what of this? With a gentle motion I rotated it, allowing the broken wing to catch the light and shimmer like a forgotten treasure. Once upon a time an object lay forgotten, perhaps cast aside due to its broken state, or maybe deemed unworthy of concealment. With a deep inhale I paused for a moment. Yet I held on to it, for it brings to mind the essence of who I once was, long before they sought to wipe me from existence, before they deemed me the source of their troubles. With a careful hand, I placed it softly upon the desk that lay before me. Silence enveloped the moment, as no further words were necessary. In that moment the room held its breath, wrapped in a shroud of silence. Even Vera found herself at a loss for words. Outside, the rain danced gently upon the windows, whispering secrets of the world beyond. On a rainy afternoon, the verdict arrived, cloaked in the whispers of the storm outside. Yet, the tale was not solely about triumph. It was a tale of reclaiming what had been unjustly taken from them. As I stepped out of the courthouse, I felt the weight of the moment, resolutely choosing not to glance back at what lay behind me. The judge's ruling lingered in the air, reverberating through my mind like a haunting melody. Complete the journey of title transfer. In a moment of reflection, a public retraction was made, echoing through the halls of discourse. In a tale of betrayal and deceit, the court bestowed damages upon the wronged party, a testament to the gravity of defamation and the treachery of fraud. And with it my very essence, my honor, my sanctuary. Behind me, Vera burst through the heavy doors, her presence commanding as she descended the courthouse steps, the sound of her heels striking the slick concrete echoing like a tempestuous child demanding attention. Her lawyer followed silently, like a shadow in the dim light. Mom lingered at the edge, her purse gripped tightly as if it contained all the unspoken words she had carried for years, a silent testament to the burden she chose to bear alone. With a gentle parting of her lips, she began to speak. Perhaps a tale is in order to shed some light. Perhaps to plead. Yet I pressed on, my feet carrying me forward. It was not born from malice. In the quiet moments there lies a profound stillness, a gentle embrace of tranquility that whispers of harmony and solace. It is a state where hearts find rest and minds are unburdened, a sanctuary where the world's clamor fades away, leaving only the sweet essence of serenity. Just peace. And so it came to pass, that was the final thread. And so it was that it required no binding. 2 days later, I found myself steering my vehicle onto the gravel driveway of the house, a place where they once attempted to weave a narrative that I did not belong. It appeared diminished from the way I had held it in my memory. Or perhaps I had simply blossomed into something new. With a burst of energy, Livy was the first to leap from the car, her excitement palpable as she embraced the world outside. Her backpack danced behind her as if she were racing toward a vacation rental, rather than a house burdened with layers of paint tucked into every nook and cranny. Once upon a time, a voice broke through the silence calling out, "Mom, would it be possible for us to transform the hallway into a vibrant shade of purple?" With a warm smile I replied, "Of course. Choose the hue. Jasper has the power to choose the trim." With a glance that danced between an eye roll and a playful grin, he relented and stepped inside, trailing behind his sister. The floors whispered their familiar creaks, echoing the stories of days gone by. As the dawn broke, the light danced through the east-facing windows, casting its familiar glow. Yet the sensation that was unlike any other. In this moment we possessed keys that were beyond the reach of others. In that moment our names adorned each doorframe, a testament to our presence. In the days that followed, I devoted myself to the delicate task of organizing the things that held significance in my heart. Much of the furniture had found new homes, replaced by fresh pieces that whispered tales of change. Vera had meticulously cleared everything away before the case, believing that by taking out chairs and rugs, she could somehow wipe the slate clean of the memories that lingered. Alas, she found herself unable to do so. What remained was rightfully mine. On a fateful Monday, the long-awaited settlement check found its way into the mailbox, bringing with it a promise of new beginnings. In a realm where order reigns supreme, there lies a space that is not only immaculate but also stretches beyond the imagination, its vastness almost comical in its enormity. For a moment I gazed upon it, lost in thought, before carefully placing it into a folder marked Rebuild. As the week drew to a close, a path emerged, leading to a destination by Friday. In the heart of the town, there existed a noble organization dedicated to guiding women on their journeys of renewal and new beginnings. As I took my seat opposite the director, I gently pushed the check across the table, my voice steady as I uttered a simple yet profound request. Use it to create spaces that remain untouched, safe from being taken away from those who need them. They inquired whether I wished to have my name etched upon the donor wall. With a gentle nod, I acknowledged the moment. Once upon a time, there was a name that echoed through the whispers of the wind, Kaelen Rowe. Once upon a time, there was a soul who faced the tempest of life with unwavering courage, emerging from the shadows as a true survivor. Once upon a time, there was a skilled builder. Once upon a time, there was a figure of warmth and love, a guiding light in the lives of many. She was known simply as Mother. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting a warm glow across the room, the ceramic dove perched gracefully on the kitchen windowsill. Its wing, mended with a delicate line of gold resin, shimmered softly, a secret only revealed to those who knew where to gaze. It embraced the golden hour light as if it had been patiently anticipating this moment for an eternity. Jasper nestled beside me on the couch, his head gently resting upon my arm, a picture of comfort and companionship. In the quiet of the night, Livy had drifted into a peaceful slumber, while the remnants of her creativity, purple paint chips, lay scattered across the coffee table, whispering tales of her artistic endeavors. With a gentle sigh he murmured, "It feels wonderful to have a house once more." With a gentle touch, I pressed my lips to his forehead. "It's good to have a home," I murmured softly in response. At last, the rain had ceased its relentless dance upon the earth. As the wind swept through, it carried with it the scent of the earth and the promise of transformation.